Ever wonder what could actually trigger World War III? Not just in movies, not just wild theories, but real-life possibilities. What kind of event or chain reaction could set the world on fire? Again? This isn't just speculation. Experts, historians, and military strategists have studied the risks. And what they're seeing, it's not fiction. It's already brewing beneath the surface. Let's talk about the facts, the patterns from the past, and the growing threats of today that could ignite a global conflict like never before. Let's rewind. World War I started because of a single gunshot. Archduke Franz Ferdinand assassinated in 1914. One bullet, and alliances snapped into action. Over 30 nations at war. World War II, sparked by expansionism, economic collapse, and rising nationalism. Germany invades Poland in 1939.
The German foe begins its ruthless march of conquest and sets the stage for World War II.
The world followed. Here's the scary pattern. Global wars often start small. A regional conflict, economic stress, a single political assassination, a border skirmish, and suddenly alliances drag everyone into the fire. So if World War III ever happens, don't expect a big dramatic announcement. It might start with something as small as a drone strike or a cyber attack. Now let's break down the real modern triggers, what experts believe could lead to World War III. 1. Taiwan and China.
Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes,
You are.
that's the commitment we made.
The U.S. has pledged support for Taiwan. China claims Taiwan as its own. If China invades, the U.S. could respond militarily. Japan, Australia, NATO, they might join. That's a potential multi-country war in the Asia-Pacific. 2. Russia and NATO. Russia's invasion of Ukraine was bad. But what if Russia strikes a NATO country like Poland or Lithuania? Under NATO Article 5, an attack on one member is an attack on all. That means immediate war between Russia and the West. 3. The Middle East powder keg, Iran versus Israel. One misfire, like an Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear sites, could set the whole region off.
Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Other powers might take sides. The entire oil economy could collapse. That's a global trigger. 4. North Korea one missile test too far. One miscalculated launch. If North Korea hits Japan or South Korea, or threatens the U.S., that could be the spark. 5. Cyber warfare. Imagine this. Someone hacks into a nation's power grid, blames another country. Retaliation begins before anyone confirms the truth. Cyber attacks could be the silent trigger that no one sees coming, until missiles fly. Don't underestimate money. Global depressions create desperation. Before World War II, the Great Depression crushed economies. Germany became fertile ground for extremism. Today, global debt is sky high. Inflation's rising. The gap between rich and poor is wider than ever. If another global financial crash happens and food, fuel, and jobs disappear, people panic. Extremists rise. Governments blame each other. The world turns tribal again. History shows economic collapse often leads to war. Let's get psychological. Humans are tribal. We divide into us versus them. In uncertain times, nationalism grows. Fear spreads. Leaders rally people around enemies, real or imagined. Psychologist Erich Fromm called it the escape from freedom. In chaotic times, people give up liberty for a strong leader who promises order. That's how wars are born, not just by politics or bombs, but by fear, pride, and the deep human need to belong. If leaders play to those instincts, the public follows, even into war. Here's the scariest part. World War III might not be planned. In 1983, a Soviet officer named Stanislav Petrov stopped a nuclear war. He got a false alarm that US missiles were incoming, but he trusted his gut and didn't launch back. One man saved the world. Now imagine if AI systems, automated missiles, or misinterpreted radar data took over. One glitch, one wrong call, no Petrov to stop it. That's not science fiction. The technology is already here. So, is World War III inevitable? Not necessarily. Mutually assured destruction, the idea that if one country launches nukes, everyone dies, has actually kept peace. Fear of global annihilation forces diplomacy. Global trade makes war costly. Countries that rely on each other economically are less likely to fight. And people? More connected than ever. Social media, travel, cultural exchanges. The more we see each other as human, the harder it is to go to war. But peace isn't automatic. It's something we maintain. Every generation faces this question. Will we repeat the mistakes of the past or learn from them? So next time someone asks, what could trigger World War III? The real answer is, it could be anything. A conflict, an accident, an economic collapse. But the real challenge is stopping it before it starts.